It's time for HyperPole here at the Le Mans 24 Hours in 2024, but we have a slight delay to proceedings as well due to a crash on the straight as well, going down towards Tête Rouge. Now, what's happened is in the Le Mans Road to Cup that came through, there was a huge accident. The cars was ripped to shreds. The barrier's been destroyed, but remarkably, there's only been around about a 15-minute delay to this session. So stay tuned. We're getting ready to go. For now, though, we're going to hand over to the world feed while they've got more information and also in the comms box. So HyperPole currently delayed.
Money can't buy. You cannot get this. You can't hire this track. You can't do this. This is purely as part of being the bronze driver in these Pro-Am lineups. That is the only way that you guarantee you're going to get that drive.
Great, I was hoping that was going to be there. So Radio Le Mans will have to take over. It's typical, isn't it? JT's laughing now.
There's kind of a separation. There's a couple of the other drivers are kind of hanging around the back, but yeah, it's all kind of like people have worked themselves. The 8 cars in each group, apart from HyperPole, the 7 of course, have worked themselves up into this, and now they're sitting here with this excess energy waiting to go, which is quite interesting. It's interesting, a very interesting kind of weird calm over the whole pit lane, with everything waiting for it to explode into life, I think. But it's quite good news for every other team because they're working flat out on improvements and changes and getting the cars ready for the race, which they'll obviously have that 1 hour practice a bit later in the day just to check it's all right. But most of the other cars, if you haven't qualified, you are working really hard on your race setup right now.
And it's the same up the other end of the pit lane, the heart of racing, same thing. They're just waiting around for the indication that they can get out on track, and the other teams around them, because the GT3 cars are split, up and down the pit lane at the moment, so I can see some of them. But as Nick said there, the other cars that are getting red, that are not going out on these sessions, are just fine-tuning. DKR Engineering, Inception Racing, they also, the number 70, Inception Racing, they're standing around all looking quite relaxed. I can see one of the drivers at the back both chatting. I'm guessing they're going to talk through what strategy they're going to run and how they're going to do it. They're sort of coming out of the garages and just having a little look around and then straight back in to the garage. But it's all pretty quiet and relaxed down here at the moment. I guess everyone's just desperate to get it all underway.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem that they've got, I mean, Nick's saying that he's surprised that they're all in the car and they might be in for a long time, but when it's going on a quick start, especially because the weather could be a little bit dodgy, it's so important. And we have an 8:30 estimated time for HyperPole starting, but it could go at a short call, as Eduardo de Freitas has said, and you have to be ready to go and put those tyres on and just go, because the difference between spending a minute and a half getting in the car once they go green could be the difference between doing half a lap in the dry or a complete lap in the wet.
Let's pick up on some of the stories then that have affected this week. Nick Damon, first of all, we will only have 7 LMH cars, in their HyperPole session because the number 12 Jota car is not going to be taking part. Let's pick up on that story to start with.
Yeah, it was right at the end of night practice yesterday when we switched to one of the cameras which showed the number 12 Jota, piloted at that point by Callum Ilott. It had gone round, I think, at the exit of the Forest S's just before Tête Rouge. A lot of front end damage, didn't look too bad, I thought. Had obviously taken a bit of a hit on the front right. Well, it had taken a lot of a hit on the front right, and it had done the tub, so it had pierced the tub. This meant that they would need a new chassis. Now, luckily, because there's so many of these Porsches knocking about, there was a chassis available in the spares truck. I have no idea if it was a Penske one or just a floater. There's probably a couple, in fairness. But it's interesting. It's an old chassis, not a new chassis. It's a chassis that's been used before.
Is it?
Yeah, because I was talking about the wires. Well, later, I came back about half an hour later and they had a complete new loom in plastic bags. So the wires I was seeing on the floor, the old ones had been taken out.
Ah, right.
So well, fair enough. You can't. The chances that everything's working is virtually zero. So you kind of got to do that.
the other thing, Nick, is maybe that was rigged for IMSA competition, which
that's a really good point,
different
John.
monitoring loop.
Very, very good point. That's even better than my idea. They didn't trust the current wiring. Just so you know,
it's a guess, mate.
Well, I like it. No, I like it.
What I'd like
it's
to
our
find
job,
out,
guessing.
and maybe if you find Sam Hignett or one of the guys down there, Sam, it isn't their spare chassis.
No.
He said it is a spare chassis when I spoke to him at lunchtime. But if we could get a chassis number and a history, that would be really good, because I'd like to know where that's. If it's come out of the pool. It's my understanding that Hertz Team Toyota bought their 2 cars and they aren't leased or rented from the factory at all. So we could have an interesting situation if that car goes on and does really well and wins. Then that's an absolute nightmare.
I really, 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 really hope I'm wrong on what I'm about to say, but it was such a shame because that car was looking, I'm not saying it would have been on pole, but it was looking really quick on some of its race runs. Obviously, they had a phenomenal result in Spa, and when you have an incident like that...
That was
and
the Spa winner, of course.
Yeah,
that
absolutely,
chassis.
exactly. When you have...
Well, they're just going wrong at the moment over there. So it looks like a new estimated time is going to be at 8:30. That is, of course, local time. So let's return to the world feed. They've got some more information at the moment.
Just have to hope he just headbutts someone off the podium.
Well, sorry, you just saw Larry Holt in the corner of the shot there, did you? Looking down into the garages. Actually, what would be really nice now is to go back to that camera shot we had of the Peugeot garage, because there was a couple of things at the front of the car I thought were really interesting. We saw both Peugeots all stripped out. And one of the things that oh, now then, here we go. Yeah, drop the ball.
We got the big guns.
One of the things that was really interesting, I thought, was that you could see on the drive shafts at the front of the car the FIA-mandated torque sensors, which are used to measure the power output on all the hypercars. It is indeed Zinedine Zidane who will be waving the tricolor at the start of the race. And there's Bex, one of my neighbours, and that is the brains in the Penske Porsche PR department there, those 2 ladies. And here's a car that could easily be on pole position, very easily be on pole position. They managed to go to the very top of the times in qualifying with all 63 cars on track. I think there's a really good chance that the 15 BMW could be on pole. Now then, leading car is going out.
I suspect that might be the race director aboard that car.
Yeah, it may well be. Again, in Porsche Penske Motorsport, there is the Porsche part of the equation. All sorts of scribbling on pads going on. I'm painting a picture here for you. Anthony Davidson sniggering as he writes a funny note. Share it with the class, Davidson. If you can't share it, don't write it. Louise Beckett started all this.
Louise Beckett's been spotting celebrities in the paddock.
And since I'm the only person who's not privy to the note, I imagine that it's probably something that doesn't need repeating on air.
Well, we've already seen Fred Vasseur, haven't we, in the Ferrari garage.
Well, I saw him at lunch.
Was he serving again? It's an off weekend.
It's a job.
It's a second job.
Job,
That's what
mate.
it is.
Job.
Apparently Pierre Gasly in the paddock a little earlier.
And was there a celebrity with him?
Oh, dear me. Oh, Team Iceland back.
Very good. Very good. See, and you told me you knew nothing about football.
I know plenty about football.
There's a man kicking the ball. but that's apparently a good thing.
Hello, everybody. It is great to see the spirit here. Everybody waiting for the entertainment that's about to be unveiled in the next however many minutes it might be. We're told 2030. What I would say is the stack of metal retaining barriers, as I'm now being briefed to call them, is getting smaller every time we look at it. This is a good thing.
Which is indeed a good thing. Look how wrapped up against the cold everybody is. I spot one person in that grandstand in a t-shirt only. Everybody else here, fleece, coat, hats. You can leave the factor 50 at home. You know, advised everybody coming later, and Louise Beckett even later than that to the track, to bring as many warm bedclothes as they possibly could with them, because it's not been a warm week. Yeah, no, I know your heart bleeds for us. Oh, sorry, Anthony.
Well, I think in all seriousness, though, it's created a bit of a problem, a bit of a headache for the teams, because they had to choose their tyre allocation maybe a few weeks or months even before this race to allow Michelin, especially in the hypercar category, where they've got 3 options of compounds to choose. I think these cooler than expected temperatures have caused a bit of a problem in that we haven't seen one team yet run a hard compound of tyre since we've been here. So that obviously eats into your tyre allocation, your total of 28 sets for the week. Not one team run the hard, so they've had to limit. So far we've seen teams only run 5 or 6 sets up to this point in the weekend so far.
And the point there is that because it was Scotio last year, they will have gone, we need hard tyres. It's not a hard compound, it just works on a hotter track surface. We have got nowhere near track temperatures where that tyre is going to be in its comfortable window.
I interrupt, because one of those man was just waving one of those Porsche flags. And I gave my nephew one of those Porsche flags as well, which is quite funny. I would bring JT into it, but it would trigger Radio Le Mans. So, hang on. There you go, JT.
Hello.
Hi. Rain delay. Not even a rain delay, just a normal delay. That's what we like, isn't it? That's what brings us up on. So we're just delay, aren't we? How are you?
I'm just thinking, is this going to have a knock-on effect to the night factors?
I can't think it would. Oh, hang on.
If you have extra, when quali starts and I'm driving, if you have extra updates about weather, be brave in the radio, give me maximum info, okay? Give me more chances to think something.
That's Alex.
Okay, well, if it does, then Megan's going to be here anyway. Then you can just control it via TeamViewer. So, we're going to be in for one of these, and it's a very weird session. Let's head back over to the world while we wait for the news.
13.5 kilometres, 8 miles long. So you can very much have a section of the circuit completely wet and also completely dry. So he's saying whenever you see the radar or if the weather's coming in, let me know. I can pre-prepare my thoughts before I get to the corner, perhaps, if I know it's going to be okay or if it's going to be too wet.
Yeah.
So the weather is around. There is rain around in the area, but not here yet. But that could change very quickly as the session gets going.
Looking there inside the cockpit. Look how busy that is, even in a GT3 car.
HyperPole will start at 1:30, so in 14 minutes' time.
1.5 kilometre circuit. We've seen a lot of cars running wide into this first chicane, the Dunlop chicane, the tailwind blowing the cars into turn 2 as you turn left, and often running wide as a result and compromising the right-hander of 3. Down the Mulsanne straight, next corner we look at here, turn 9. Mulsanne corner itself, almost a 90-degree right-hander after a long straight that leads into it. Very important to get that braking zone correct on a qualifying lap. And of course, Indianapolis as well is another one where you've got to feed the speed into the right-hander, slow it all down for the left. You brake whilst turning right and left all at the same time. Another important part of the track to absolutely maximise in qualifying. There's a lot of time to be won or lost around there. You continue on your way through the Porsche curves, and hopefully these barriers will be fixed in no time at all. And there is Pierre Gasly watching this, well, we're about to see the action unfold here in HyperPole. Is he wishing he'd be out there as well? Will we see him here one day?
Will we see him here next year?
Next year?
Well, with Alpine. Now that he's...
Well...
possibly out, who knows?
Well, no, it's Ocon, isn't it?
Ocon, but Pierre Gasly could come as well. You know, they could run a third car for Grand Prix
We'd love
drivers.
to do it. There's all sorts of
please.
There are all sorts of rumours about things about Alpine next year in sports car racing. It's not for this broadcast.
At least if you put them as teammates together in the same car in a hypercar, they wouldn't be on track together at the same time.
They can't blame each other.
Yes, I really did just say that.
He went there. He went there, ladies and gentlemen. Alessandro Pierguidi, so he's going to go and qualify the 51 car. I think it's slight possibility. Yes, T would be lovely. Thank you, please.
How good a job these crews have done.
Other panelist racing car, the 65 P2. Matthias Besch, you are the man tasked with putting the car on pole. What is the strategy? What is it? Is it just one push lap? Can you get 2 push laps on both sets of tyres?
Yeah, well, the strategy will try to put a lap in a banker, you know, because it's pretty uncertain at the moment with the weather. So normally we can't push the first lap because the tire's not there. It's too cold. But I think every lap will count. So it's going to be a tricky one for sure. We have to be a bit lucky, but on the other hand, I think every lap needs to be pushed. Even if it's a prep lap, it can be the lap that counts if it's raining in the middle. So you know, in HyperPole we start with 50 liters, we end up low fuel, so normally you do the fastest lap at the end, but let's see how the track is, if we have some rain or not. Traffic management is pretty tough as well, so yeah, you know, like one of those, but that's Le Mans, you know, and that's the one we're waiting for so long. Obviously I love qualifying, you know, in the LMS, always had a lot of fun doing that exercise, and I'm looking forward to have fun on track now.
Yeah, as you say, it's no refueling. It's only half an hour. Now, you have one advantage. You're right near pit exit. So you've got a very good chance of being in the front of the queue and therefore having because obviously you'll get round the lap. You might be able to have no one to overtake you slower than you.
Well, that's an advantage when the tires were hot because you could do the lap on the first flyer, but it's not anymore because the tires are cold. So actually, it could be a disadvantage because you go out, yeah, your first flyer is going to be clear, but the second one you might have GT or you might have LMDH overtaking you. So let's see, you know. I need to get ready now.
Okay, thanks for that. He's got 3 tennis balls. I'm not sure what they're for, but you know, that's
juggling, mate. He's juggling everything.
He's juggling an interview and getting his outfit on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was surprised he was talking to you quite so calmly, Nick, because right now, if I was out there, I'd be in the car from about 10 minutes ago getting my head in the game, because they keep on saying about getting a banker and track limits are important, but actually, if ever you need to get out there, and Matteo Besch spoke about tyre warmers, and I know that everyone's been going on and on about this, but it makes such a difference, because in the old days at Le Mans, you could go out, and it was always shocking how much grip there was at the Dunlop chicane straight out with the tyre warmers on. Now, you go through the lap, and even at the end of the first lap, they're not really ready. So to go out, prepare the tyre, and then push for your first lap, almost impossible. You need those 2 laps to get the optimum out of the tyre.
And here's something else just to throw in. I know that LMP2s aren't running at ELMS spec, so they won't be the quickest cars out there, which they would be if they were running ELMS spec, but they get their tyres up quicker. Well, the third lap will be the primo lap for LMP2, possibly even the second.
Well, I was speaking to a few of the LMP2 drivers, and they were saying that coming out behind a hypercar on cold tyres is an absolute nightmare because they can't get their tyres. So they're in the worst situation. The LMH rather, have the worst of it. LMP2 not bad, and of course GT3 cars, albeit they will have their amateurs on board, they actually will warm their tyres up the best of all the 3 classes. So yeah, you're right. An LMP2 car behind Matteo might be wanting to get past him, and then there's going to be a right kerfuffle on that first flying lap between the 2 classes.
The teams are going through their radio checks with race control at the moment. The clear up of that huge incident earlier on that split the arm core apart on the far side of the circuit is nearly finished, but nearly is not done, and so we're in the countdown phase now. The teams have been told to be ready on a short call. That means they have to have the cars warmed up. These aren't cars, Johnny, even the LMGT3 cars. You can't just walk up to these and hit the start button.
No, I mean, in some of them, LMH, you really have to do, plugging in computers and warming stuff up. They'll have warmed them all up. The GT3 cars, it is just a case pretty much of warming them up, but they need a good 5 minutes to get them warm. But they'll have done that anyway.
That's gearbox, running through the gearbox.
Running through the gearbox, everything. But they'll have done all of that. They'll be ready to go. I think they're aiming to start, rather than a short call, I think they're aiming to start bang on 8:30. There's still quite a lot going on at the area where the Armco was damaged, but I suspect in the next 10 minutes or 9 minutes 20 seconds that we've got, they'll probably get that sorted. So it looks likely that this will go green at 8:30.
What we don't know, and we'll get this information to you as quickly as possible, and Right Turn Lovers asked a very salient question, is what happens to the next free practice session, because there's still drivers in some of the cars that will need to get their night laps done and such like, and there was meant to be a final free practice session for everybody after this session. Now, it's not just about getting this session done. There is an interminable amount of formalities that goes on after this, which is when normally we go and grab something to eat. Thankfully, we've been well fed already this evening, but I can't imagine the ACO shortening up any of those formalities. So instead of getting finished at 11 o'clock tonight, I think we're actually going to end up running 11 till midnight instead of 10 till 11.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, John. If it's between cutting a practice session or cutting the ceremony, they'll probably cut the practice session. But they have until midnight to run, don't they? And in the good old days, it was 10 till midnight, wasn't it? So,
which is what it was last night.
7 till 9 and then 10 till midnight. So I don't think, with Friday being the day off, I don't think that'll be an issue.
What do you what do you think of HyperPole? Are you a fan of HyperPole?
I always like it when you have the cars going up against each other in a situation for qualifying. It makes good TV. The spirit of what Le Mans was when you could go out there was all about finding a clear lap, and it made such a difference. Obviously, with HyperPole, the chances are, obviously now with the weather, it makes it less likely maybe, but the chances are you were going to get a clear lap. So in terms of the fastest being on pole, yeah, probably I am a fan of it. Yeah, definitely. And it's nice to actually have them out there giving it everything in a pressure situation.
I felt for some people yesterday having just that one qualifying session.
You see, that's
with
where I
62.
disagree. That's where I disagree. I think they should just take the best time that you've done, like in the good old days, and
all the way through the week.
All the way through the week.
I agree.
And then the fastest 8 after that time, then they go into HyperPole.
And that makes every session count.
And then that makes it so you actually have your fastest guys really going for it. When you put a half an hour out there, that's more of a lottery than HyperPole.
Yeah, I agree.
By a long way.
The only other thing they could do, MotoGP, every session counts for MotoGP, and I really like that, and that gets people going out all the time. People always go out at Le Mans because you can't get enough track time. I understand that. The only other thing they could do is that hour that we had last night for qualifying, which was pretty entertaining. It could have been 3 20-minute sessions, one for GT3s, one for LMP2s, and one for hypercars, and go from that to this evening. And I don't think that would have been any less entertaining, and there probably would have been less people moaning and whinging about the fact they didn't get a clear lap, because the biggest field would have been 23.
Yeah.
And we've got 24 going out now.
That's one way of looking at it.
Okay, you're good to move to P2. P2, track is 4-5 degrees less, lower.
Good evening in the pit lane again.
The wind has slightly picked up since the last update.
May now be pushed to the working area. Cars may now be pushed to the working area. We estimate we may be able to go green at 8:30. The circuit is doing a great job. It was a massive repair. Let's see, there may be a delay of a few minutes. If that happens, that happens. Nevertheless, we will do our best to be ready to go out once we can.
I love Eduardo Freitas, because you never just get, we're going to try and start at 8:30, beep, off. He genuinely wants to tell people what's going on and get people up to speed. So the car's being pushed onto the
fastest time yesterday. That's on the white sidewall soft tyres. To my right, I can see the two Ferraris, and they're on the yellow sidewall medium.
Going to encounter, they're going to require the real world evidence of what's on the screen.
Yes, if it's raining, let us know and we'll confirm for you. And often you will find
information to the pit lane, information to the pit lane. It is now delayed to
he is hearing, even as he's speaking, from the marshals at the post or from the workers at the post, which is why
HyperPole
he
starting
stopped
5 minutes later now.
Okay, it will be at 35. The circuit has just confirmed to me it will be at 35. That's the estimation. Sometimes things don't go as we want, so we will leave that already.
Still a magnificent effort.
Wow.
I don't
Less than an
recall
hour.
having seen a barrier at Le Mans that badly damaged in the history of ever.
I guesstimated 1 to 2 hours. They've done it in under 1. And you know, they went at it like a swarm of worker bees, didn't they? Absolutely fantastic effort. So, who's gone through? Well, 2 of 3 Cadillacs, 2 of 6 Porsches, although only 1 will go out on track because Hertz Team Jotas number 12 car will not. 1 of the 2 BMWs, 1 of the 2 Alpines, and both of the Ferraris. Bruce Ioanni reports from the pit lane that it is starting to rain. Now, the track has not yet been declared wet. Let's hear from the 92 team.
Lights cost power or not?
No, it does not cost power. It does not cost power. It's for free.
He's really getting to all the details, isn't he, Malikin? I like it. So he's asking, if I turn the lights on, am I going to have less power here? Because we often hear that the teams will turn off alternators to get more power. You'll definitely turn off your air conditioning system if you have that as well installed. The LMP2 cars have that, and some of the hypercars, not all of them, have air conditioning units. So that you can turn that off to get a little bit more power. So, you know, these are little tricks for qualifying when you're looking for just that extra little bit of performance. And for this circuit of such size, believe it or not, in a P2 car or a hypercar, 1 horsepower is 1/10 a lap.
Wow. And that could make a big difference because we're looking potentially at hundreds. You can see there on the top left-hand corner of that track map, the rain, well, that is Dunlop Curve pit area and up towards Tertre Rouge. So it may already be sprinkling with rain. Now, until the race director declares it a wet track, you may not fit wet tyres. So right now, everybody is stuck on their softest slick tyre. You get an allocation of 8 tyres in addition to everything else you're allowed for the race weekend if your car goes through to HyperPole. Now, again, didn't ask Pierre Alf the last time we had him in the booth whether those have to be pre-decided or whether they bring a selection based on the weather.
The weather looks quite okay the next minute, so I would still go to the prep. Anyway, we will stay outside and update you. As the rain is coming from here, we should be the first one to see the drops. I will update you, but at the end of the out lap, if it stays like that, I would go for the prep.
Okay, let me know it before the
We're under 5 minutes. We are under.
Yeah, sure.
Now, we heard already from the 51 car that they're going to do out, push, in, and then a second run out, push, push, in, and potentially they could do it on a hard tyre. I think that's unlikely because the track temperature is not even remotely anywhere near that window, so it's going to be a medium or, I don't know, potentially even a soft tyre, but they did talk about potentially swapping to a hard, so that suggests you're not going to go a 2 jump away from soft. Maybe softs aren't even available here. Maybe Michelin only have the hards. Don't forget, Michelin supplying the tyres in the hypercar category, and Goodyear supplying the cars to LMGT3 and also to LMP2.
Information to the pit lane. It's now confirmed at 35. It's now confirmed at 45.
So we're going to be going in about 4 minutes. Great repair job under an hour from the guys there. Look at that, the Marshal's best in the world.
Complete, and that is the best news of the evening. Well done, ladies and gentlemen of the circuit staff and indeed the Marshals trackside. That was a huge job, a huge repair.
There's just, it just looks like 2 widths of barrier, but yeah, there was an awful lot of carnage that had to be sorted out first. Let's hear from Inception Racing.
Can you put Freddie on? I just wanted him to talk me through what he did on his outlap. Brendan, do you hear me? Copy. So, on the outlap, it's really important you get a lot of brake temperature in.
Yeah, the brake temperature is obviously going to feed into the air inside the tyre and help to heat the tyre up as well. No tyre warmers, hence why all the cars are just happily sitting there with no blankets on in the pit boxes. Makes no difference whether you're sitting in the garage or out in the pit lane.
Under 3 minutes. We are under 3 minutes.
That was Frederick Schandorf explaining his procedure to Brendan Reed.
Drivers of the need to respect track limits. It is HyperPole.
We've seen lots of track limit infringements, of course, lots of penalties over the course of the week building up to this session in HyperPole, so the drivers are fully aware. If you venture over all 4 wheels over the white line, same rule as in Formula 1, your lap time's going to get deleted.
Just saw BMW Team WRT's Thierry Tassin, another of the Belgian racing legends that formed the brains trust at WRT. One of their 2 hypercars made it through into HyperPole, and it was the fastest lap set in qualifying.
Cars may now go to the fast lane. Cars may now go to the fast lane.
23 cars then will head out because there will only be 7 hypercars. The number 12 car, which did qualify for HyperPole, being hastily or thoroughly rebuilt. Everybody else heading towards the pit exit.
So who do you fancy for this? Is it going to be Cadillac? Is it going to be Porsche, BMW, Alpine or Ferrari in hypercar? Pretty certain it's going to be Orica in LMP2.
Well, we haven't seen anyone have a completely clear lap yet.
No.
So that's the beauty of Le Mans. You come to this point in the week and you still come here with unanswered questions.
Absolutely. GT, it's between Aston Martin, Lamborghini, Ferrari, McLaren, Mustang in their 60th year. 1964 was the debut of the Ford Mustang in the marketplace.
1 minute, under 1 minute to open pit exit for HyperPole.
And to complete the order, Corvette and Porsche. All the brands, all the time. Fantastic stuff.
My money's on Dries Van Toor. He's in that BMW. He was fastest in qualifying, and now there's no other traffic to dodge in and out of. I really like his chances.
So we're all set then, getting set for the HyperPole session. If you're new to us here,
30 seconds.
30 seconds to go from Eduardo Freitas. Let's hear from the 51 Ferrari, of course, as well. No, not going to hear from that. Right, if you're new here, this is going to be 8 cars across each category. So 8 hypercar, 8 LMP2, and 8 GT3s. Here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. HyperPole has started. HyperPole has started.
And we are underway for HyperPole qualifying in 2024 for the Le Mans 24-hour, the 92nd edition of this great race. And the cars leave the pit lane on their outlap. But crucially as well, we have wet weather. It's a 13-kilometre circuit. It could be rainy at one half and dry at the other. There are no intermediates. The only tyres you have are full wet weather. Josh Tees alongside me in the commentary box. And JT, anything could happen, but it's important to get some banker out laps now in case this is the best of the conditions we see.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Hello, everyone. And 29 minutes and counting on the clock. HyperPole is started. 35 minutes delay, which is not that bad. Now, around just under an hour, I think it was 55 minutes delay overall, or an hour and 5.
It's not that bad, because that red flag came out in the second race, yeah.
Yeah, so really not that bad. Good job from the marshals. It's normally 8 cars per class, Josh, but the number 12, Hertz Jota car, that's the shell that we saw in Free Practice 3 earlier on, and they're still rebuilding that car. So only 7 hypercars out there, but 8 of the LMP2s and the GT3s, and we're on board with the 15.
And that number 12 car as well has been given special permission. Now that they're setting up a brand new tub, the stewards have given them special permission to run at a local airfield for a shakedown tomorrow on Friday. So they're going to make sure that their car is up to speed at the airfield. Now, it's not unheard of. We've had that before here at Le Mans with the World Endurance Championship. So that is a good spirit from the stewards and Eduardo Freitas. 777 cars out there as well to station racing. And look at that. Finally, after what we found out at the end of practice 3, after having practice 1, qualifying, practice 2 and practice 3 with just dots on the timing screen, JT comes back into the box for one session and finds out that we can actually have the numbers of the cars on the driver tracker as well, meaning that we have our driver tracker. So we get the times, we get the positions, and we also get the driver trackers where we can see everyone on the circuit. We've got Radio Le Mans for when Eurosport go to break. We have Eurosport as well for TV pictures. This is your home for the Le Mans 24 hours as well to come in as well. Oh, and Adam says that Martin Truex Jr. is to announce his retirement tomorrow from... Oh, okay. So, Truex Jr. looks like he's leaving NASCAR. That's going to be big news. Maybe he's going to be joining one of the broadcast teams as well. Up maybe in NBC or TNT as well. Amazon, all that jazz.
Chase Briscoe, I think, is favourite to take over.
It would make sense. Yeah, would be nice as well. So 24 cars.
Yes.
Go on.
Chase Briscoe is the person who is favourite to replace.
So just to remind you of who's in this session, we've got the number 2 Cadillac and the number 3 Cadillac, number 6 Porsche, we've got the number 10 LMP2 Vector Sport, the number 12 Jolter Hypercar will not be taking part, but then we've got the number 14 LMP2 AO by TF, the 15 BMW in Hypercar, the 22 LMP2 of United Autosports, the 23 United Autosports USA team, the 27 Heart of Racing, the 28 IDEX Sport. Let's just show you actually quickly on the main screen. It'll be easier for you to read it all as well coming into it, who's missing and who's not. So there you go. That's who we've all got coming in this order. Now, isn't that bizarre? I wonder why that is. Oh, okay. That's news to me. With the 22 cars coming out here on the pit lane. But yeah, that's how we're going to have. And now we've got the pit lane JT lap time starting because the BMW is already up towards the S's after turn 1 as well into the chicane. And he's approaching down towards Tech Rouge as well. So it's a good run already in this session.
Yeah, absolutely. Under the Dunlop Bridge into Tech Rouge, as you said. Then down the Mulsanne Straight, the first part of the Mulsanne Straight.
Yeah, Mulsanne, then Daytona, second part of the Mulsanne, Michelin chicane, Mulsanne corner as well. So as they continue to push down, this is on board with Van Horth, who's qualifying the 15 BMW as he heads down towards the braking zone for that first chicane as well. Daytona chicane, of course, and the 15 BMW by Van Horth. Marchetti as well coming in there too, but it's Dries Van Horth, who's qualifying it through the chicane then. Nice exit. Oh, a little bit over the white line there, JT, but they're more flexible in Hypercar with that rule nowadays than they are in GTs.
Yeah, absolutely. Weather, 18 degrees air temperature, 22 degrees track temperature, 41% humidity, which is low, and 11 kilometers an hour wind. But we could see humidity increase if we are expecting rain. And just as I say, I look, and it's increased to 44.
Yeah, that humidity percentage is in 44%. Track temperature 21.5. Keep an eye on that. Remember, it is at different points on the circuit, so it could literally be... It's just a guessing game as to what could happen at this place as well. It could be raining at one half of the track and then not raining in the other. It's too big in order to have rain. Also, another thing is that we won't have any slow zones and we won't have any yellow flags. If we have to have it, we will go red flag. They need to complete this as long as possible and to get lap times on the board. So everyone's just got to be careful. 23 minutes to go. This might delay the session overall for free practice 4, as there was only a gap
definitely
between
will.
it. Yeah, so it looks like I won't be on practice 4, so I'll probably leave you with Megan and JT, and maybe Tom Dillon will come in for running order, or we just leave it with Radio Le Mans for practice 4, which is an option. Let JT control it over here on our boards as well.
Team viewer.
Team viewer, yeah.
I'm very happy to waffle about the World Endurance Championship for an hour with Megan.
Megan, though, doesn't know a lot about the World Endurance Championship. That's the only worry that I have.
Neither do I.
We need Tom Dillon on. So someone ping Tom and see if he's up for the hour of doing it as well, and then we can have that sorted. If somebody pings him, because then...
then again,
go on.
When I waffle, and I can waffle.
Yeah, but if you two waffle together, that's perfect for the hour that we need. So, yeah, I'd rather know if Tom was in the box so that I can get things set up for you two. And then Megan can just sit around making sure everything's okay on the streams. To run through. Getting ready for our first lap times on the time. As this is going to be Van Horth coming into the chicane. BMW then will be the first one to cross that line. What's the opening gambit time for the BMW M Team WRT? And it is a 3:26.701. That's the banker in dry conditions. But the Ferrari, both the 50 and the 51 looking quick. The 50 goes fastest, 3:26.498. Right behind the 51 goes faster on a 3:26.142. It's a 1-2 for the Ferrari AF Corsas. But in LMP2, it's the 65 Panis Racing that's gone fastest at the moment. And in GT3, it's the Heart of Racing, number 27. But their time's still yet to come through on the board. But that's amazing, JT. Ferrari 1-2 again here at Le Mans.
Yeah, absolutely. But look at the 23 United Autosports entry with Hanley in. That is for LMP2. Louis Delatraz goes top. 3:35.620. That's LMP2 in that 14 entry. The 10 for LMP2 goes second, then the 37 goes second as well.
And Ben Hanley's lap time was cancelled for exceeding track limits. The man who's qualified on pole position more times than any other driver here at Le Mans can't seem to get pole position at the moment. That first banker lap time is not the decent one he wants to go on as they attack through once more, down through to La Chapelle, into Tête Rouge and the rest of the circuit as well, trying to get through. Who's pinging me, by the way? Where are all those pings coming from?
Comms chat.
Oh, right. Don't get that. Anyway, look at that in the GT3. We've got the Man 3 Purex Racing on top because we've got a 3:59.695. That's a stellar lap time from the GT3s inside the 4-minute mark.
In LMP2 from Pure Racing, Man-Time Pure Racing from JBMotorsports in LMGT3, and it's Ferrari 51 from 50.
So as I go through, I think Eurosport are going to go to a break in a second, which is really annoying. So we're queuing up Radio Le Mans. Let's see what I'm hearing in the radio, because look at this. The Ferraris are going faster. Middle sector is quick as well. So the Ferrari AF Corsas still might challenge something. They're coming down towards Indianapolis as well. Look out for the number 50 car and the 51. They're into Indianapolis now, as you can see on your driver trackers. So they'll keep it nice and calm together. Loads of the GT3s are bunched up together as well. We've got two LMP2s in front of the number 2 as well, Cadillac Racing. So that's going to be a bit of traffic down towards Indianapolis. But now the number 3 Cadillac's fastest of all. Alex Lynn as well in that number 2. Like I was saying, because he's being held up with LMP2 cars as well, Lynn can't find any running order. He's dropped 2 tenths after being 3 tenths fast in sector 1. LMP2 traffic causing manic here.
I wondered why I was getting confused about my spotter guide. Every page except one printed single-sided, and then one of them printed double-sided.
Yeah, that happens. Radio Foucault.
Can close this lap and beat their time. We need better than 26.1.
I think we're going to...
Yeah, so they need a better 119.285. So they're improving. Let's see. Here comes Foucault then in the 50 Ferrari into the Ford chicane. Then Racudemont, the last corner, up towards the line. What's the time on the board? It's fastest for the 50 Ferrari. It's pole position with a 3:25.598. Bourdais is coming through as well. Can he take pole position for the first ever time for Cadillac? He can! He can! 3:25.294. Cadillac on provisional pole position for the first time ever at Le Mans. Ferrari are really out of it. And of course, one of the big stories that we haven't talked about yet, no Toyota in HyperPole. So it will be a brand new pole sitter. This is all going forward now.
Cadillac versus
Yeah, absolutely. A good lap time from the number 3. 3 tenths clear with a 3:25.294. Still 18.5 minutes left. It's a car has just dropped down. Was that then 2 Cadillac Racing who had just had the lap time deleted down from down to 7th, I believe. 9.7 seconds off the pace. Must have had a lap time deleted.
There's the 15 BMW back into the pit lane. The 51 Ferrari, of course, are in 2 with 18 minutes to go. So they're just losing out on a bit of time now. Dries Van Horth has left the pit lane, so that 15 BMW has now been released, as you can see on your driver tracker, with the number 50. I'm so happy that the driver tracker is actually working for once the way it should be. An actual driver tracker at the pleasure. An actual driver tracker at Le Mans on the stream. That is the first time in history that's happened. We had one last year.
We had one, yeah, we had one last year, but it was through Discovery and it was annoying.
It was like 40 seconds delayed. It went wrong every 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. This year, please let someone show
I now
this.
actually have proper spotter guides, which don't look like...
GT3 pole
doesn't
change.
look like this.
Pole to pole sitter in GT3. The JMW Motorsport does a 3:59.151, and Petronelli goes fastest. So Ferrari at least have pole, and the heart of racing, Aston Martin jumps up into 4th place in the GT3 category.
Yep, and the McLaren for GT3 goes top. I believe that was the number 70. Yes, it was. The Inception Racing car that went top. Look at Sebastian Bourdais, who's faster again.
So yeah, it's not looking that bad as well for Sebastian Bourdais. So it's going faster. 3 tenths in that middle sector, 3 tenths sector 1 as well, as they will continue to hold station as well. Megan's here now, joining me in the comms box alongside JT, putting a headset on.
Why is there only 16 minutes left?
It's a 30-minute session. We just had a lot of delays.
But it was an hour.
No. Post-race ceremony and all that lot. Looks like you, JT, will be commentating on practice 4, but leaving
What
it me.
time?
If it's 9 till 10, I'm here. If it's 10 till 11, it's you.
I'm going to pray for 9 till 10.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what the time the session's going to start. We haven't been informed that by the Lord of the race director of Eduardo Freitas, because we had that delay, because the barrier got completely destroyed. Car ripped in 2, barrier ripped right open.
We have no telemetry. If you're up on the Delta, keep going.
And that's
what wow! Cadillac don't know that Bourdais is about to go fastest. They've got no timings. Well, they should look at our timing monitors, because we can see the Cadillac is fastest, and Sebastian Bourdais has already done a 3:25.294, crosses the line, and takes pole again with a 3:24.816. He is 7 tenths faster than Fuca in the 50 Ferrari.
He wobbled a little bit on one of the corners too, so he would have been faster if he hadn't done that.
So Bourdais has pace. Bourdais knows he has pace, and he knows he's going to keep it. 15 minutes to go in HyperPole, and Cadillac Racing could be about to be on for their first ever pole at Le Mans. Ferrari are out of nowhere. Also, Megan, we got our driver tracker working.
Ah, good.
And yeah, we've got the subscriber count sorted as well. I literally turned in this morning. Production team came in. Yeah. 5,000 subscribers when me and you started this in 2019. Did you expect that?
Wasn't it 2020? I suppose it was COVID year.
No, yeah, that's when we were live, but 19 we did YouTube videos.
YouTube videos was 19.
Lives 20.
Lives 20.
It doesn't seem real, does it?
No. Didn't expect.
Got excited because I thought I found the driver briefing notes, but it's last year, but I know where to find this year's.
I know where to find this year's driver briefing notes as well. It's on the notice board on the FIA WEC timing results.
It is.
Do you think at your birthday last year, not this year, the year before, that right now,
what about
that would be the subscriber count?
No, because it was 1,000 last year. I didn't expect that. And now we've got 4,000 more. We've got 5,000. Anyway, look at Inception Racing and the number 17. They've gone top overall now in LMGT3, and it's a 3:58.333. So Inception are looking quite strong on the board here, and Arby as well in the McLaren right now for Inception Racing. He's 7 tenths up, nearly 8 tenths up. So this is a strong time for the GT3s on a track that's getting cooler. No sign of the rain, though, so it's just sort of holding it around. It's hovering nicely.
It's looking misty.
Yeah, and it's getting darker as well. The rain, the night coming in and drowning everything else out.
You can see by the headlights.
I'm just happy the fact that
One more flying lap.
P1 with one more flying lap, and with that one more flying lap, he's about to go fastest. Oh, he's lost it! He's lost it! Out of Rakunaman! And the Inception McLaren has been put backwards, and he wish he was asleep right now so that he can wake up and change it. Inception has inserted itself quite badly at the opposite end of the last corner. Oh, and he was up! He was up as well. The sausage code has lost it.
That curb just did him right in.
The 70 McLaren goes backwards. Oh, it's just one of those things where you just don't want it to, you don't want it to go, do you?
That's unlucky. Bordeaux right now is very happy, though.
Bordeaux is happy, and he's fast overall for Cadillac Racing. GT3, though, with Inception Racing, I mean, he's still got the pole in the McLaren 720 GT3 Evo. So he's still got it, but yeah, we're just looking at everything else at the timing screen right now. 3 categories, remember, Hypercar, followed then by LMP2. Reminder that, well, Ben Haley, hang on a minute, the number 2 Cadillac did have his lap time to lead with Alex Lim, but he's yet to set another one, so he's the only Hypercar of position. His Van Hoff
was on lap 2 or lap 3. Best lap is 24.8 at the minute, 24.8.
Now. So that's the 15 BMW, who's 6th overall in class at the moment. Reminder, we won't have a run for the 24 Hertz Team Jolter squad. So, well, the number 12, but 24th overall. That's why we only have 23 in this session. For once, actually, only 23 cars. Only 23 can fit on our timing tower up here in the commentary box. So,
happiness.
It's visible happiness right now. For some reason, it's only 23. But usually we can get 24, so I don't know what's happened to it. But we're not going to be using Timing 71 much longer for F2. No, for F2 F3. Because it's going to be in multiview soon. So
I think I finally want tea.
What are you having anyway?
Well, I was going to have passive. I'm not actually sure what I want. I'm having one of those days where I'm just like, when it comes to things.
I've just realised that for once, the Radio Le Mans picture is finally in sync with the television picture. That hasn't happened all weekend so far.
15's coming up towards the line. Personal best, sector 1.
He's got, yep.
Good sector 2.
This is the BMW to start another lap time as the Alpine leaves the pit lane as well. In Hypercar, Cadillac Racing, number 3 ready.
There is not going to be time to do a prep lap, so it's going to have to come straight after the out lap.
Huh. I didn't realise that apparently we're nearing the end of the session when there's 10 minutes left.
4.5 minute out lap would still give you 6 minutes, which is 2 push laps. That's a bizarre one there for the Cadillac number 3 team to sort of adjust to.
They're insane.
They are insane. They have, well, if they haven't got the telemetry, maybe they have the timings.
Wait, isn't the river
Seine in France?
Yeah.
Yes. But we're not insane because this is Le Mans.
It means they could actually be.
You're untouchable. You're doing a great job the rest of the lap. Arnage, brake earlier, better exit. Final chicane, use more of the apex curve.
That's Ollie Milroy.
Why does it sound like they are literally doing that over a megaphone?
The WEC technology is not the same as Formula One's technology in terms of team radio communications.
It needs to be better.
Oh, there it is.
I mean, you can hear them clearer, but it sounds like you're speaking to someone through a megaphone. Though very, very close to a megaphone. Because obviously, when you go far away from a megaphone, despite there being sole purpose of hearing from large places far away, no one can understand people.
Okay.
I just want to put that out there for people who use megaphones. Only people in a 20-yard radius know what you're saying.
I can't wait until tomorrow when we have Friday. So in the morning, I'm going to come in. I'm going to put numbers at every corner, marshal posts as well, and just give it more detail because that map needs more detail. And then
it does kind of look bare.
In the big blue house. Yeah. So that driver tracker is going to look different by the time we get to the race on Sunday. I'll add in more information for everyone at home so that you know what we know with the track maps and that sort of thing as well. And also so that I can also look at it and know where everything is quite easy. Because then if there's a car stopped, we can tell you exactly where it stopped. So this will be the best assistant you have for a watch along. And I know some people like to tune in for the whole race. We're going to have all of it live. It's on Twitch, uninterrupted. So the whole 24 hours. On YouTube, every 6 hours, we're swapping streams. Because YouTube have a thing about going over a certain time. So it's 4 parts. Yellow flag's out again. At Marshall Point 24 and 25. And it's a... Well, you can see where it is on this circuit. That's 2. That's all the way...
It's the 15.
It is. It's the BMW.
BMW.
It's in the wall at Indianapolis. And this will be a red flag. And it is. Red flag.
Won't be able to make a lap time now.
So Lewis Van Horf has put it in the wall with the BMW, and this clock will stop at 7:41. I know ours is ticking down. Ignore that on timing 71. The clock will stop at 7:41.
More delays.
Yeah, more delays. And this, again, delays the practice because there was only an hour gap. You can see the red marking is going around the whole circuit to indicate the red flag. So this is going to get even worse now.
Looks like they can just push him out.
Oh, yeah, that like tiny little red line in the middle of it.
Yeah, and it goes yellow to show you where the yellow flag is on the circuit and what slow zones are going to be activated. So I think it's just going to lock up. Yeah, locked up on the inside front left.
Big hit.
Front end's going to be crumpled up as well into the barrier. So that BMW will not go for pole position either.
Let's pray the fact that they might just stop the session.
And having caused... Now they've got time to restart it. 7 minutes on the board, the restart. Having also caused the red flag, the 15's now going to lose his lap time.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, so he's going to start behind Alex Lynn. So that's Lynn getting a promotion up. But BMW had a chance of pole here. It's gone. So my betting here, it's between Cadillac and Ferrari for overall pole at Le Mans.
Ferrari.
There's Eduardo Freitas, the bald man in the centre stage. Van Horth is under investigation for causing a red flag in HyperPole. Kind of knew that. I am going to look forward to the fact that because on race day, there should be the race control camera becoming available in a 360. We're going to have, hopefully, if that's on, we'll have that. And we'll have it on a green screen. So the green screen will be up, and whoever's in here will look like we're in race control.
I remember once seeing someone eat Chinese food off that thing.
Yeah, we had it on a monitor here, didn't we? A couple of years ago.
And we were spotting who was eating for hours.
To do an out
What
lap.
happened, mate? All good? Okay, mate, just follow the marshal instructions and keep me posted when they come at you, and when you leave the car, please remember to put P0. Okay, you also need to put neutral, please. Neutral.
So red flag's out, the session's stopped, everyone's going to be crawling back to the pit lane. Let's hand it over to Radio Le Mans and the latest news from them.
An AM shower or two. That's how
It's
it
going to
looks
take a little
for the
while
weekend
to get the
weather here
6th
at the
round.
Circuit de la Sarthe.
Yeah. Right, they can hear you, by the way, JT, so we're going to hand over now to the radio.
Depend on VP Fuels and Lubricants.
You can see what he's trying to do there, John, just carry. Because into
This is
Indianapolis,
Dries Vanthoor, yeah.
Dries Vanthoor, sorry, in the BMW there. Because you can gain a ton of speed by going in super quick. So long as you can get it stopped for the left-hander, then there's not much coming out of the left before you get into Arnage. So you can actually compromise a little bit that left because you don't have to get amazing exit out of it. But just reading on the screens that car 15 Vanthoor, we were just talking about, under investigation for causing a red flag in HyperPole, which I assume will mean that potentially get all his lap times deleted. He's currently was lying 6th in overall and in hypercar. I guess that means he'll start at worst 8th.
Yeah, it happened yesterday to the number 7 Toyota for the same thing. He can't go back any further than 8th position because he was already qualified in that. As I said, this is a completely separate session. What I want to know is if he restarts, can he go again? Is it all of his times up until now, or all of his time into the session?
Look at the splitter on the left there. Is he?
The only other thing to add there is, of course, you can only use 2 sets of tyres in this session. So if you've taken the best out of those tyres on that push lap from Fuoco, it may be game over.
Yeah.
I fear he might have taken the best out of them, like you said.
Race control on the chat to the teams. They use Discord, and hello to our Discord group for sports cars. Always entertaining, sometimes feisty, but that's all right.
I bet Fuoco's livid.
Oh, he must be.
I would be so livid at that point. You're up on a lap, 2/3 of the lap done, and there's a red flag.
Car 15, which is the BMW of Dries Van Toor, will not be allowed to rejoin the session. So there's the answer to that. Hello, as I said, to the guys on and girls on Discord.
So again, it's going to be easier for you to push on the first flying lap, and only flying lap. Tires are going to be much hotter. Everything is going to be good to go. You got this.
That to me, that's where race engineers become psychologists, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at this level now, you don't tell someone, even the amateurs, they're such a high level, you don't tell them necessarily. You can give them little pointers, maybe they're losing a bit of time here to change their technique, brake a bit earlier, whatever, but most of it is just getting them into the right mindset, because that's so important for the guys that aren't professionals to go out there and they're feeling the same pressure, the same way. Just because they're amateurs and they're potentially bringing budget to be there doesn't make any difference to the pressure they're feeling.
Congratulations. It was a pleasure to drive this car, and we get it. We still did the job, so now we can focus on going racing. Thanks very much.
Well, that sounds to me as though...
Thank you, Seb. It's a fantastic lap. We'll see if it sticks. Whatever the case, we're in it for the show.
They're not going out again. Cadillac not going out again. That's what I get from that? Do you get that?
Yeah,
But he hadn't. I mean, he wasn't even in the second sector.
Why not go out? What have you got to lose? Other than, I guess, they don't want to crash the car potentially. But I mean, it's Sebastian Bourdais. You know, at the end of the day, he's hugely experienced.
He's got 3/4 of a second
on top of the world. I know, but Fuoco's quicker.
Yeah.
Fuoco has it in him to go quicker. Now, whether the tyres were used...
Well, I was going to say, has he taken too much?
But he's only on his first lap, so I would say, and they're on mediums, I would say, John, and they're lighter fuel load now, so I don't know. You just don't know. But it could be tight, and maybe hindsight's a beautiful thing, and he'll still end up on pole. But imagine if he gets pit by a 10th, because I think Bourdais can go quicker.
If there's a quick out lap here, if you're a decent out lap, that'll bring you down to 4. You've got 2 laps, actually.
Yeah.
You've got 2 flyers if you want them. And Bourdais, the man from Le Mans, is out. He's out of the car.
And don't forget, their tyres will be hot.
Yes.
They'll be cooling down a little bit here, but they'll be able to go out and bring them up to temperature easily on the out lap to nail one last flying lap.
I wonder if they haven't got enough fuel.
No, but he would have been able to. Yeah,
oh yeah, he would have tootled back. But
yeah.
Have they not got enough fuel?
I don't know. That's a good point, actually, John. But I mean, you don't use much if you really. I mean, you saw Brendan Uribe really tootling around, so they know they're tight on fuel.
You're not allowed to put any fuel in this session, even.
I reckon you can go out, go around, reasonably warm up, do one flight, and then really tootle back into the pits. I think you'd make it.
So, HyperPole lap times deleted for Dries Van Toor in the 15 BMW for causing a red flag. In the Cadillac garage, Laura Wanthrop Clauser, who is the head of GM Endurance Racing, has already congratulated her driver. So basically, they've done the. If this was blackjack, they've stuck on 16, basically, and.
Back and taking photos, just be saying, let's celebrate when the checker flag comes out. And I've seen what Ferrari are going to do.
Let's wait.
Okay, so we're green flag now, obviously, but also a little bit of news. Rain is expected, light rain to be precise, in 9 minutes' time.
So that's just after the conclusion of the session, but depending on how quick that wind blows in, are we going to have that rain interfering in it anytime soon? So this could be something of interest as
They're
well.
They're going to want to get this done
ASAP.
at 9.
Yeah.
Because it's
I remind you as well that we have got this unusual situation coming where we don't know what time the practice 4 session is going to be. Is it going to run on time? But are we going to go straight from this to the celebration of the bar.
So 51 will push a lot the outlap. Try to do 2 push.
So Foucault wants to do 2 pushes in 6 minutes to do. That's an interesting one. So they've all just gone pedal to the metal. After this session, we've got a 40-minute pomp and circumstance ceremony to do. And then everyone's got to get ready for the next session. So, I don't know.
Okay. So,
At
their
most-
time at 10, which we are 9, it will be raining.
Right. Yes,
When
this
it's
is
our
live.
10,
Yeah.
it will be raining.
Right.
At their 11.
Right. Okay.
Either way, they've got to go out.
Well, they will still run in the rain, of course. They've
Yeah,
got,
I'd-
they've got to get the practice in for that.
I suggest that they get it done.
How
if they
heavy
really
is the
want
rain, though? Heavy enough.
No, it's light rain.
Ah, that'll be fine then. 13 kilometres track. It's raining in one
Look.
half, it's not in the other.
It's light
There's
rain.
It's more rain blowing in for Saturday, Sunday during the 24 hours. Yes, Cohen, this is live.
It'd be good practice for Sunday and Monday.
Let's head down to the pits. There's some news.
Apparently, they've got enough fuel for only 1 lap at Ferrari. I'm not sure on which car, though. Foucault for sure.
So they want 2 laps, but one of the Ferraris only got enough fuel for 1 lap. That's a bit... Well, what's going on now, then?
They've just been in the pit lane. What did you do in there? Just stand and admire the car?
Did they not bother refueling? Is that the thing? Did they not go like, okay, we'll just won't refuel, see where it goes?
This is what they did. Ferrari, just pointing that out, Ferrari messed up on another pit lane thing.
Well, they won here last year, let's not forget. Let's give them that credit.
They also won at Monaco. They DNF'd in Canada.
Fair point. I'll give you that one.
Ferrari, pit stops. It's going to admire the car. Such lovely work. Oh, no. we're meant to be
Ferrari strategy.
No one ever believes us when we say this could be problematic, do they? But Pierre Guidi is running 3rd overall at the moment in the 51 Ferrari. Antonio Foucault is in the number 50 Ferrari running 2nd. Sebastian Bourdais, he has not gone out again. He takes 2nd. Also not gone out is the 37 in LMP2 category as well for the Cool Racing squad. Neither has the 35. He hasn't gone out either. Stefan Foucault?
Oh, radio silence.
Oh, okay. So there wasn't anything coming through there.
We'll miss the rain on this. For people who are looking at like the ceremony, for 40-minute ceremony, take an umbrella.
That's on the start-finish straight as well. Oh, hang on a minute. The Alpine 35 has come out. He's gone out now on a push lap. There we go. That's why they're all going for their timing screens. Because look, they're all bunched up together. Apart from the 70, who is the Inception Racing, who is just coming through the bottom into sector 3 now. So, Foucault and Pierre Guidi. This is effectively it, by the way. It's a 3-minute 24 lap time. There is... Oh, Foucault's gone off! Foucault cut the corner! Foucault will not start this race on pole position. He's already made a mistake through that first corner. Now, does he back off and run the risk of not getting the checker flag, or does he just push it? But is it starting to rain? No, he's backed out of it. He's let the 51 of Pierre Guidi go through.
5 minutes.
And Pierre Guidi's 3/10 down that first sector, so he won't find anything either. Well, this might be Cadillac on pole and saving a set of tyres by not going out again.
Apparently it's meant to be 5 minutes, so it actually might be starting to spin. I'm not sure.
Could be why. If it's spitting on the top of the hill, it could explain why the Ferrari lost a bit of grip. The 51 now coming down towards the Daytona chicane. Is there a difference that we need to take a look at? Hugs the inside line. It goes right, left, right to get the exit. Back on the path. It takes a little bit more exit curve, JT, as we go down the second half of the Mulsanne. But this looks like Cadillac's to lose, and they haven't gone out on the track yet. And they won't, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So they are not going out, which is interesting. The 37 LMP2 Cool Racing entry is in pit lane. Same with the 33 LMP2 of the DKR engineering car.
So it is all flying here in Le Mans for what could be a very interesting session. As there's the 50 Ferrari that just made a mistake coming through the forward chicane and went off the track, and it was gone immediately. Saves the tyres, I suppose, ready for practice later.
3 minutes.
2 minutes left on the clock as well. That rain's going to be coming in just as everyone's completing their lap times as well. Watch out for the number 70 Inception that's just started his lap, and that's a 4-minute lap. So that's going to be interesting for the Inception squad there. And where is that rain going to start to come in? How light is it going to come in? You say light, we'll see.
And again, the light that shows on here is pretty hard.
Yeah. Currently, it's the number 3 Cadillac who has provisional pole for the 92nd running of the Le Mans 24-hour race. Look at Pierre Guidi's second tech. Oh, did he just touch the gravel there? The exit, he did. Pierre Guidi coming out of Indianapolis, touching the gravel, and he's already down by 0.381 in the middle sector. He's into the last sector now, coming out towards the Porsche curves.
2 minutes.
Oh, there's a minute to go on the rains. That rain's coming in here at Le Mans. They'll complete the times, but will it be good enough? Will it be quick enough? Have Cadillac done it? They were 7/10 faster at the moment. They're 3/10 off the pace of their own best lap times as things stand. There's a couple improving, by the way, in LMP2, and the Inception squad are setting faster lap times. So it still could change. 30 seconds to go. First car's now crossing the line. The 35 coming through, as well as the 2. No one improving. Yes, Cadillac number 2 of Alex Lynn goes up into 4th position. Ferrari could be on something here, but here comes the 51 of Pierre Guidi across the line. 3:22, 23, 24. It's a 3:25, 3:61. It's only good enough for second position. Cadillac on provisional pole. Kevin Estre's on a lap time too. He's set 0.5 of a second down, but the checkered flag is out. And who has got pole here at Le Mans? Here comes Kevin Estre. He takes the flag, and he goes.
Delatraz.
He only goes 5th. And Delatraz looking strong, but look who's just taken pole position. LMP2. Delatraz goes top in the AO by TF squad. And a 3:23.217. Delatraz on provisional pole position. Still a lap time there, JT and LMP2.
Yeah, absolutely 6/10 faster than the 28 car. But looking at the hypercar, no one's improving. The 66 JMW Motorsport is improving in LMGT3.
So the GT3s might still have some lap times to prove at the moment, but we're looking at the 66 JMW Motorsport with Petro Bellilli as well at the wheel. He's coming into the last corner now in the Aston across the line, and now in the Ferrari. Aston crosses it first, no improvement. Ferrari crossing, is it Paul? No, he's 4/10 down. So Inception and McLaren have pole in GT3. AO by TF have pole in LMP2, but overall pole position at Le Mans for the first ever time goes to Cadillac Racing. But is it also going to be Alex Lynn? Because look at the number 2 Cadillac. He's 22 thousandths fastest in that middle sector. He's still pushing after a double cool, and Alex Lynn might make it a Cadillac 1-2, JT.
This could be incredible if it happens. Let's have a look what his Sector 2 time is as he goes down into Mulsanne corner. It's 4.5 tenths down, but that's still good enough for second.
Still good enough to put them on the front row of the grid. But Megan, is it starting to rain? He's got the Ferrari just behind him as well, the 51.
It's been pushed back. 15 minutes.
Well, look, a few little spots coming down in towards Indianapolis. So there's a few spots starting to come through. So LMP2 changed over massively, but Cadillac want their 1-2. They want to come back into the top tier at Le Mans and sports car racing and saying, yes, we can do it. Pole position goes to Inception Racing. They've just beaten it at 3:58.120, 8/10 faster than the number 92 of the Manthey Pure Racing. So Inception have pole in GT3. AO by TF have pole in LMP2, and it's with a Pro-Am car as well. But it's Cadillac who still have pole here at Le Mans, but which one? The number 3 or the number 2? Kevin Estre's on a lap time too. Kevin Estre, the number 6 Porsche, is only 87 thousandths down, and Kevin Estre's pushing as well. Where's he in the number 6? He's just getting to the Porsche curves now.
Where on this map is the track?
Keep pushing, we'll finish his lap.
No kidding, really?
So, Kevin Estre might still take pole position away as well. Cadillac looking good. Here comes Alex Lynn out of the last corner. Can he salvage 4/10 across the line? He has! Alex Lynn puts it on pole by 34 thousandths of a second. penalty for Cadillac here at Le Mans. Kevin Estre crosses the line. Who is it on pole? It's Porsche domination once again at Le Mans. Porsche Penske take it at the line by a tenth and a half. A 3:24, 6:34, and Porsche reign supreme at Le Mans once more. The team who are so successful here have got it back in their second hypercar appearance. Wow!
What a lap from Estre. 3:24.634. 1.5 tenths faster, as you said. 0.148 to be exact. But that is the 6th Porsche on pole for the 92nd running of the Le Mans 24 hours.
And Michael makes a good point that the number 2 does have a grid penalty as well to contend with, 5 places. So that puts Bourdais second on the grid, but nobody expected Kevin Estre to come through. There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Porsche are back on pole position here at Le Mans. And it is Kevin Estre who's put them there.
It's going to be 10.
Finish this lap on e-drive.
Save the maximum.
E-drive is electric drive only. There's Andre Lotterer. The bridesmaid, no more. He has it. And free practice 4 will start at 9:30 British summer time.
Woohoo!
So 9:30. So it's an hour session, which means I've got to leave. So
Halfway through.
Yeah. So you're taking halfway. That's all right. 50-50.
Kind of guessed that might end up being it. And it'll be in the midst of all the rain. Right then.
Someone's off.
I'm going to go because I am really hungry.
No worries. See you soon.
See you soon.
And we are going to finish this lap on e-drive.
This feels good. Amazing.
Yellow flags. Double yellow at the start line, and that is because they are making double yellow at the start line because it's time for the pre-race and all the pomp and circumstance ceremonies as well. But it's raining here, Megan says. JT, what a session! That was epic. Didn't expect that. Porsche back in control at Le Mans.
Yeah, absolutely. What a lap for GT3. It's the McLaren 70 car of inception with the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo on Goodyear tyres, of course, that team. On pole. For LMP2, it's the Pro-Am 14 car, of course, with the AO by TF Orica. And they also run on the Goodyear tyres.
Let's hand over to the world feed then as well for the pre-race ceremonies, but we'll get a word as well with Radio Le Mans, who's down with us as well.
With the interruption.
Well, Brendan
We didn't really have the real pace, but at the end he pulled it out the back. The last drop to bring it back now. So yeah, we squeezed it.
Okay, there's multiple streams going on at the same time over at Radio Le Mans.
6, huh? I think number 6.
It is, baby. It is.
I know how he got
It's a
pole
great car,
now.
but it's a great driver too. Great drive.
I don't think you can do that final section of chicanes any better than that, because he literally danced it from curb to curb but didn't ever have to correct.
Yeah.
So he was absolutely straight lining them, hitting the curbs, but hitting the curbs with the car straight. So it was bouncing the car sideways, but he didn't have to put any opposite lock in, apart from the final curb out onto the straight, which you cannot touch, obviously. That was absolutely beautiful how he floated speed through that last section. I'd love to see his data just to see how much quicker he was, even to himself, through that last series of chicanes. But I still think Sébastien Bourdais should have gone again. And the fact that Alex Lynn went quicker than him, to me, says that Sébastien Bourdais could have gone quicker than that. And at the moment, he's only missed out on pole by 0.182, John. 0.182. Second lap on the tyre. If you couldn't find 2 tenths around Le Mans on your second run on a new set of tyres, I'd be surprised.
Let's go down to Nick. Let's go to Di and Nick in pit lane. Di.
Sebastian Baudet, obviously we just caught you. That was a heart-stopping moment there, but you gave it your all, but you didn't go out for the last session. Why not?
Yeah, we were going to be really limit on since we did 3 laps. We had fuel to do 2 and 2, and then 3 and 2 was going to be really, really close. So the guys just didn't really want to cause the red flag because you run out of gas in the in-lap. So yeah, we didn't go for it. To be honest with you, it was a pretty solid first lap as well, first run. So you always know that the track is probably going to get better, and a second go at it is always a little bit easier to know exactly where you need to go and what you want to do. But we're in a good spot, and that's all that matters. So, you know, I think it would have been really cool to put that Cadillac on pole. But last time I was on pole here was in 2010, and I didn't even make it in the car. So, you know, it's not really a factor for a 24-hour race. So hopefully we have a flawless event, and we can bring a very strong result to Cadillac once again.
Okay, thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you.
Up in the AO pit, they obviously picked up the pole in P2. Gunnar Jeanette and Alex Quinn. Great driving from your super Swissman.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's done a great job, and I think the gap says it all to the others. He's put it all together when it mattered, and he's incredible.
Another great result for Spike and the project, Gunnar.
Yeah, I think we just came up with a new nickname for Louis, and that's Dragonheart. Dragonheart and the Dragon. No, Louis, so happy to be working with him here. All of the combined forces of AO and TF, and we're looking forward to a great race.
Thanks, Gunnar. Cheers, guys. Congratulations.
We'll grab Brendan Aribe or someone from Inception in a moment. Remember, that car was dead stick in the last session with Fred Schandorf. Had to come back on a flatbed to get it back. So that's a bit of a rags to riches story. At the top then, it's Penske Porsche number 6 from Cadillac Racing number 2. That's how they'll start on Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock Central European summertime. On the row 2 will be the number 3 Cadillac from the number 51 Ferrari. On row 3, 50 Ferrari, 35 Alpine. I still think that's a great run by Alpine. I really do. Then it will be, that is the top 6. Now, here's a good question. That means I think that the number 12 Jota will be in 7th place and the BMW will be in 8th place, but it doesn't matter. They're on that row of the grid. In LMP2, EO by TF, the number 14 car on pole with EDEX Sport and Chop van Uitnoot's time. I put them on the outside of the front row. Then it's Panish Racing, Matthias Besch getting 3rd in the 65, ahead of United Autosports, the number 23, that's the USA, the wins car. Then United Autosports 22 from 37 on the 3rd row, the cool racing car. DKR 33 from, where's the other LMP2 car? Where's the 8th place? Oh, Vector Sport, excuse me, yeah, on the outside of row 3. And in LMGT3, Inception McLaren from Manzai Porsche, 92, 70 from 92. On row 2, 66 GMW Ferrari.
Shout out to them. We haven't even talked about them. But that's
Giacomo Petrobelli is a tall bloke, but he can pedal.
Yeah, he's been around a long time. He's a good driver. That's really good effort from the 66
was that on the last lap?
Team.
Yes, it was. That was on his last lap.
They'll be pleased with that.
Yeah.
And how many Le Mans is this for them?
It's great to have them back with the number 66.
Absolutely.
As well. Then it's Ryan Hardwick, and then it's Ian Jim. So 5 different manufacturers in the top 5. The Aston Martin in 6th is the first repeat manufacturer. Then it's TF Sport with their Corvette in 7th. Iron Lynx in 8th with the Lamborghini. And that is how their front rows will start.
And so for Penske, this is a lifelong dream.
This is the pole lap then. So into turn 1 we go. Lift, get the car straight. The rear really slides on him. So well controlled there. Unbelievable stuff. What caught Fuoco out didn't catch Esther out. I was surprised to see that on the pole lap. Now into the next left and right. Get the rear in check once again. That's usually where the rear goes light. Then you've got Tetra Rouge coming up. Turn 7. Get the curb on the inside. Then use everything you've got on the outside and keep it within track limits. Perfectly done there by Estra. I can see now why it was such a strong first sector. Now we hammer down towards the first chicane. Eyes to the left-hand side. Eventually you'll see some blue signs coming up. They're the braking marker boards. Here we go. Here they are. 200 meters, 100 meters coming up. Stand on the brake pedal, get the curb on the right-hand side, down into second gear, flick the car left, use all the track on the right-hand side. Track limits don't count for that one because you've got a gravel trap and curb on the right-hand side. Now you've got the second chicane coming up. It's the same but in reverse. Left-hander first, so bring the car to the right-hand side. This time you're looking to the right for those blue boards coming up. Once again, you've got that car in front of you. That's the LMP2 car that we're going to pick up a tow from later on. Brake as late as you can. Send the car into the corner. You can see the rear wrestling the whole way through. That right-hander is unbelievable driving and reflexes here from Estra. Not the kind of grip that I was expecting to see. Up and over the crest we go to Mulsanne corner. The right-hand kink comes at you. Brake just as you go into that kink.
Fuel warning light came on.
Exactly, it's the lift and coast light. So, yeah, this gives the driver a sign, and nicely done there, up and over the curb on the exit, as early as you can on the power. You haven't got four-wheel drive at that speed, don't forget. It comes in much later than that in these hybrid cars these days at 190 kph. Now, this is a bit I wanted to see. The LMP2 car. You're getting closer and closer. You're willing it on, willing the car on. Come on, get in before the corner, get in before the corner. The camera breaks up. What's it going to be? He's compromised, you know. He's had to stick to the right-hand side. This lap could have been even faster. The rear really complaining once again. He's comfortable with it, though, isn't he? Once again, those lift and coast lights come on before the slowest corner on the track. Arnage bounce over the curb momentarily on the right-hand side. Then get on power. We've got the Porsche curves coming up. Is he going to stay to the left-hand side of the track to minimize the distance? Yes, he does. Let it release on the exit there. Now, focus for that right-hand corner coming up. Get the car straight before you brake and tip the car into the right-hander. Keep it tight, keep it tight. And then flat out through the left-hand corner that comes up here. The rear still dancing around. I wanted to hear if he was flat there. I think he was, you know, in that second left-hander. This is where it all went wrong for Kobayashi yesterday. Get close to the baguette curbs on the left-hand side and open up karting as much as you can as you come out the Porsche curves. Use the right-hand side of the track, the pit lane momentarily, to fling the car across the curbs to the left, then the right. Slow it all down for the next left and right. The rear almost got away from him there. And what a lap. Such impressive driving on an old set of tyres. Pole position. Kevin Estra, I applaud you, mate. Brilliant driving.
Wow. Did he breathe, do you think, in that entire 3 minutes and 25 seconds? I'm not sure he did.
Brilliant stuff, and well done with that. Would say, by the way, the order as we see them here is not going to be the grid positions for those cars. It will be Sebastian Bourdais on the front row. That's because of the decision that was made at Spa that the number 2 car will get a 5-place grid drop after causing the accident, the red flag at Spa.
Look at this in slow motion. I mean,
this is nuts.
It's almost laughable how loose the car was throughout the entire lap. If anyone was going to handle a car like that, it'd be him.
Has he got a future in rally driving, do you
well,
think?
Have you ever watched that?
Did.
Have you ever watched that Nürburgring lap that he's done in the Porsche 911 in the absolute pouring rain, and you're wincing every step of the way? If you haven't watched it, anyone watching this now, go on YouTube, find it, and your mouth will be wide open the entire lap, dripping onto your seat.
In the early days of him in GT3, there's another lap at the Nürburgring where he took the fastest lap in a McLaren, and a much earlier McLaren, and my God, it is possibly the most committed lap of any driver I've ever seen anywhere. Hats off, by the way, to both the Cadillac drivers. Yeah. Utterly astonishing. We'd never have guessed that they would be where they were in this session.
Brilliant stuff. I mean, Bourdais, and he hit the track early, didn't he, as well? He was impeccable in where he placed the car. Didn't get a proper run at it in the second run. I would love to see what he could have done. It wasn't really a fair fight in that regard. Alex Lynn like you say, he carries that penalty. I'd forgotten about that. Good point. But yeah, that last sector from Lynn was stunning as well.
World class. A world-class lap from all three of those guys at the top of that timing and scoring.
And Alpine, a brand new car with 3 races under its belt. Ahead of it, Porsches have been racing into their second season. Cadillac in their second season. Ferrari in their second season. The Alpine, 6th fastest, will start 5th on the grid. That car has got speed.
It's 4th race.
Yeah.
It's 4th race.
Now, whether it's got longevity, who knows? Ferrari had no clue whether they were going to even finish the race, never mind healthily last year. They ended up winning it. I'm not saying that that's the potential, but every car that starts on the grid, that is the potential.
Cracking lap, by the way, from Jan van Uitert in this 28 car. Brought that car up from the back of the LMP2 order in this session to the top briefly before that was taken away again by Louis Delatraz, who improved in this car. Spike, the Dragon, the number 14 car from AO Racing with TF Sport, cracking stuff.
Yeah, brilliant effort from both drivers, and you know, it took 2 or 3 seconds for that pole to change hands. Job van Uitert was the pole man until literally the next car that was almost pushing him along came through. JBMotorsports, they claimed 3rd place, 2nd place, I beg your pardon. No, 3rd place it was with Giacomo Petrobelli. And again, for a car that's not raced in the championship all season, that's a really good effort from Petrobelli.
Yeah, 15 appearances at Le Mans in 16 years for JMW Motorsport, and their 5th different car in that history. Alex Manikin, I'd have put good money on him being on pole position in LMGT3, and I was wrong. Yep. Didn't quite get it together, had a couple of laps lost to a little bit of ill discipline on track limits, but it was Brendan Aribe with an absolutely corking lap, completely committed and bringing home pole position in LMGT3 for McLaren.
And not just one. He defended it in the second runs and improved. I mean, that's the mark of it, and that is how different Brendan Aribe is from when we first saw him here at Le Mans. He has come on so strongly, and you know, there's the team.
Yep.
They are rightly absolutely jubilant. Freddie Schandorfer there in the cap, in the centre, Ollie Milroy, his driver coach, and
Buzz Lighters there on the left-hand side. Inception is the brand they race under. There's Gunnar Jeanette from AO Racing. Inception is the brand they race under, but big up Optimum Motorsport from Yorkshire. They're the team behind this effort and continue to provide Brendan Aribe and his colleagues with exactly what they want.
Here are our HyperPole pole sitters. The top 3 cars in or the top car in each of our 3 classes. In Hypercar, it is Kevin Escher in the number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport 963. In LMP2, it is Louis Delatraz in the AO by TF Orica Gibson. And in LMGT3, it is Brendan Aribe in the Inception Racing McLaren 720S. What? I mean, absolutely standout efforts by all 3 drivers. It was hardly easy going for anybody. It was absolutely edge of the seat stuff all the way through. Despite the red flag in the middle, it came back and just produced even more edge of the seat drama.
Well, under even more pressure in that second part of the session, all 3 pole times improved, and several of them improved more than once.
Yeah, huge pressure on all the drivers there. They were desperate to try and get back up to speed. And once you're in the groove, you have that red flag.
Messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to all of you. That was the HyperPole 24 du Mans 2024 with Kevin Estre. Mesdames et messieurs, nous avons le grand plaisir de retrouver avec nous Pierre Fillon, président de
Now time for the ceremony to present the pole winners.
HyperPole absolument extraordinaire, très spectaculaire. It was really sincerely great.
Oui, on a vécu un grand moment de sport, un moment de sport exceptionnel. Cette HyperPole a tenu toutes ses promesses. On a eu une bagarre vraiment importante sur la piste et ça s'est joué à très peu. On a eu un moment, on a cru que c'était joué après le red flag et puis non. tout le monde est reparti et il y a eu une bagarre jusqu'au bout, du suspense, et au final, ça augure d'une course qui va être absolument magnifique.
Absolument, merci beaucoup Pierre Fillon. Kazuki Nakajima, please, a question to the Grand Marshal of the 24 Heures du Mans. What do you think of the HyperPole session tonight for the spectators? It was honestly great.
I think it was very exciting and so unpredictable. And Kevin, I think he managed to pull out everything out of one chance. So I have a big respect to Kevin. Yeah.
Merci beaucoup, thank you very much. Mesdames et messieurs, les pilotes ont quitté les voitures. Il est l'homme de l'Hyperpole des 24 Heures du Mans 2024 avec la Porsche. Kevin Est, please a round of applause. Mesdames et messieurs, applaudissez Kevin Est très très fort. La catégorie GT3 avec une McLaren, Brandon Ireby et Louis Deltra qui sera en effet le pilote de l'Hyperpole pour la catégorie LMP2. Ce que je vais vous proposer de faire et faire naturellement aussi pour les pilotes, alors que dans la catégorie P2 en effet nous aurons la numéro 14 avec Louis Deltra qui est le pilote de l'Hyperpole, c'est de proposer également, on va suivre cette scène là ensemble, aux pilotes de la Porsche numéro 6 de se retrouver effectivement. Mais mon cher Kevin Estre, peut-être si vous le voulez, voilà, vous retrouvez déjà ici devant votre voiture l'hypercar. Nous allons, mesdames et messieurs, demander à Louis Deltra également qui est là, voilà, de se mettre ici au niveau de la borne LMP2. Et mesdames et messieurs, Brandon Ireby qui est le pilote de l'Hyperpole pour la catégorie LMGT3. Les trophées, mais vous avez raison de les applaudir très très fort. Please applaud them again. La remise des trophées. Et pour accompagner cela, je vais demander à Francis Chameau. Please, Francis Chameau for Porsche to join now Kevin Estre for the presentation of the trophy for Porsche Penske Motorsports. Je vais demander également au niveau de l'équipage avec la numéro 14. On va retrouver le team manager qui va nous rejoindre dans un instant, Gunnar Janet. Et puis, mesdames et messieurs, Gunnar Janet, vous pouvez aussi retrouver, voilà, à côté de l'Oreca numéro 14, Bas Linders maintenant pour Inception, les team managers. Et maintenant, les trophées. Je vous en prie, mesdames et messieurs, Pierre Fillon et Kazuki Nakajima. Now the trophies presented by for Porsche. Pierre Fillon, the ACO president, and to the driver successful in the HyperPole this year, Kevin Estre trophy presented by Kazuki Nakajima.
I'm glad I finished because I needed a good lap. The other lap was not good. But that was really good lap.
Now the LM GT3 class. Je vais vous demander, Président Pierre Fillon, like to ask you, Kazuki Nakajima, again to take the trophy and to please hand over them. Pierre Fillon, vous allez pouvoir remettre ce trophée au manager de la McLaren Inception. Mesdames et messieurs, il vient de Belgique. C'est effectivement la McLaren, le team managé par Bas Linders et Brandon Ireby, mesdames et messieurs. Yeah! Et enfin, mesdames et messieurs, and now for the LMP2 class. Yes, it's a pleasure now to present the trophies with Kazuki Nakajima and Pierre Fillon. Et effectivement, mesdames et messieurs, le trophée concurrent, ce sera effectivement Gunnar Janet qui va le recevoir. HyperPole for AO by TF. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presented by Kazuki Nakajima for the HyperPole session. Driver who is okay, who is successful tonight, Louis Deltra. Thank you, Pierre Fillon. Thank you, Kazuki Nakajima. Now, gentlemen, please take your trophy. Each of you, take your trophy and raise your trophy. Applaudissements, mesdames et messieurs. à une première fois parlé. This is the magic of Le Mans with the HyperPole session. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to propose Kevin S to place you. S'il vous plaît, cher Kevin, placez-vous devant le micro, voilà, qui est là. Ce micro, juste là pour répondre à nos questions. Voilà, Kevin S, nous demandez de vous placer devant le micro. Non, celui qui est là. Voilà, on va faire un petit selfie si vous voulez. Mais mon cher Kevin, placez-vous à ce micro qui est là, mesdames et messieurs. On peut applaudir le premier Français au passage pour l'HyperPole, le classement général. C'est Kevin Estre. Kevin, I would like to ask you so many questions, but one. How do you feel at the moment? How is it to be successful in this HyperPole session? So exciting. Was it a big effort of concentration? Did you have the perfect lap? We want to know everything. Tell us.
Yeah, no, it was a very, very tough session. As quali has been always this year, a lot of things going on, red flag, trying to save fuel, keep the tire warm, restarting, trying to manage the traffic, not having a lot of fuel in the car. So it was it was quite stressful, but I had mega guidance by the pit wall. The car was amazing to drive. Definitely it came alive at the end with less fuel, and I did a very, very good lap. I think I had to pass an LMP2 in Indy, but I think it was Louis almost, and it cost me a bit of time in the corner, but I gained some time in the slipstream. Otherwise, I think the lap was almost perfect. So it feels really good to stand here. It's my only race in France at home. So to achieve the pole there on the biggest race in the world is something special. But thanks a lot to the whole team, which made a mega job. Compared to where we were last year, it's just another world, and I can't thank this guy enough. And now we have 24 hours ahead of us. So this was nice and good, but now we have to stay in front.
Kevin Estre, le public de France a envie de vous entendre exprimer ce que vous ressentez. Grande satisfaction, naturellement, ce soir. L'HyperPole, 24 heures du Mans, Hypercar, elle est pour vous.
Ouais, merci beaucoup. Non, ça a été une super séance, très difficile. Gérer le trafic, gérer le drapeau rouge. Pas beaucoup d'essence dans la voiture, on savait que ça allait être short pour faire 2 tours après le drapeau rouge. On est parti pour en faire un et finalement on a lancé le deuxième et il était très bon. C'était pas loin d'être le tour parfait. J'ai dû doubler une LMP2 dans Indianapolis, mais il m'a donné un petit peu d'aspiration avant, donc on va dire j'ai gagné un peu à un moment, j'ai perdu un peu à un autre. Mais non, super, vraiment très content d'en être là. On était très loin de cette performance-là l'année dernière. Le team a vraiment bien bossé tout au long de l'année dernière dans l'hiver et on est arrivé cette année très fort déjà au Qatar. Et voilà, j'ai une super voiture, je suis arrivé à faire le tour et je suis très fier de ce qu'on a accompli aujourd'hui, mais samedi, il y a 24 heures devant nous.
Public des 24 heures du Mans, merci d'applaudir encore très très fort Kevin Estre. Brandon Araby, congratulations to you, dear Brandon. At the end, everything is okay because you had a spin in this HyperPole session. 1995 for victory of McLaren at Le Mans. McLaren is back and you are successful in the HyperPole. I suppose it is also for you a great feeling, great satisfaction. Tell us.
Big time. I mean, this is it's an honor just to be here and be in this race. And to actually get pole is really a dream come true. I actually never even imagined we would be on pole. So it's really an incredible feeling. I got to thank the entire team that got us here, especially my coach and longtime teammate, Ali Milroy. We started in GT4 5 years ago, and to go from not being in a race car to being pole in Le Mans in a few years is just an incredible journey. So thank you, Ali. And thank you, Freddie. We call him Fast Freddy because we only got to HyperPole because of Freddie. And the entire Inception team, Baz, who's brought us here over the years, and everybody at Inception, everybody at McLaren. McLaren, this is the first year back in 26 years, I think, and McLaren's on pole, so it doesn't get better than that.
Thank you very much, Brandon Araby avec la McLaren Inception. Vous pouvez encore l'applaudir aussi très très fort. Louis Deltra, congratulations to you, so successful in IMSA this season. As all the LMP2 cars are the same, how could you yourself do the difference?
I mean, yeah, first of all, big thank you to all the team at AO and TF.
It's fantastic to be able to do HyperPole. There's no traffic, Le Mans at its best, and I mean that was really fantastic. So to put it on pole like this, the lap was very good and the car too, so I was super happy after it.
Louis, un mot en français pour évidemment exprimer votre satisfaction également ce soir. Voilà, c'est une première victoire. Le Big One, c'est ce week-end. On sait ce que vous espérez dimanche à 16h. Mais ce soir, évidemment, une grande satisfaction pour vous d'avoir placé la 14 en hyperpole de l'MP2.
C'est sûr que faire la pole, c'est fantastique. Maintenant, on est concentré sur la course. Mon but et le but de l'équipe, c'est de finir premier dimanche à 14h, à 16h. Et donc, voilà, on va travailler pour. Il y a encore une session de nuit. Mais c'est vrai que voilà, aujourd'hui, la voiture était très rapide. D'avoir la piste du Mans comme ça, sans trafic et en low fuel avec des pneus neufs, c'est magique. Et voilà, cette pole position, elle est belle.
Merci beaucoup, Louis Deltra. Mesdames et messieurs, public des 24 heures du Mans, tout ça, c'est également fait pour vous. Merci d'applaudir encore très très fort tous les équipages déjà hier en qualification, ce soir en hyperpole. Le prochain rendez-vous, il est évidemment ce samedi 15 juin à 16h. C'était l'hyperpole des 24 heures du Mans. Merci à vous.
What a runaround for the 92nd running of the Le Mans 24-hour race as well. Qualifying is done then, and in about an hour, well, actually in about 40 minutes' time, you can join us for all of the action from free practice 4, but it's pole position for Porsche Penske number 6 overall. Thanks for your company. We'll see you next time for free practice 4. Good night.